Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Just want to let everybody know there's going to be some spoilers in this video, so I just wanted to make you aware of that. Thursday was our first live eviction episode, so that was exciting. Wednesday, Enzo won the power veto and did not use it, so we still had Kevin and Keesha on the block on Thursday. Not really shocking since, of course, it was early in the season and Enzo didn't really have a connection with either of the two people on the block, so not really surprising that he wouldn't use it. Originally, I was rooting for Keesha in this game. Like, I was excited she was back and I was really hoping she would stay this week, but then as I saw the episodes, I kind of got a little disappointed because she didn't really seem to want to be there. The more that they showed, the more I was like, maybe Kevin can stay instead. So she didn't really campaign at all for herself, and she also forgot Tyler's name, which is kind of crazy. I think she called him Taylor, so you should at least know the people's names that are in the house. So I think that was a little interesting. So I kind of was fine with her going after all that. So although originally I was excited to see Keesha back, and I was kind of rooting for her as one of the older, not older, but as one of the more original players, it kind of didn't play out that way, and she just seemed to have lack of enthusiasm, so I'm glad that Kevin stayed after all that. Okay, so let's start talking about some alliance news. Of course, there's a bunch of different alliances forming, one being Memphis and Cody. So of course, Cody formed a bunch of alliances, being HOH, which usually happens. When you're HOH, people all want to be in alliance with you. So Cody and Memphis have the Commission Alliance, and Memphis decided he wanted to bring in like 4 other people to kind of protect them. They would be like the core 2, and then to protect them, we'd bring in 4 other people to kind of divert attention. And so he wanted to bring in people that maybe weren't super obvious. So he chose Tyler, Nicole F, Christmas, and Danny. So he also suggested that it's a good idea for them not all to be in the room at the same time. The L6 of them should never be seen together. It's going to be hard to do. He suggested kind of doing it as like when you play a game of telephone. That's how they'll relay information to each other. So we'll see if that works at all. I mean, I think it is a good idea not to have everyone always in the same room at the same time. I think they could be in the same room occasionally and it might not draw red flags. So that was one alliance. And then another one, of course, like I said, Cody seeming to have the most alliances. So of course he has the final 2 with Nicole F, which makes sense since they played together before. And then there's like the core 4, which would be Cody, Enzo, Nicole F, and Danny. So that's again kind of a bigger extension of the 2 of Cody and Nicole F. Then they have some other people in there as well. And then he also has a final 2 with Enzo, which they named Root. At first I thought it was Roots with an S at the end, but listening back, I'm pretty sure I think they said Root with no S. So they're both from New Jersey, and that's kind of where that comes from. And then they kind of also added 2 people into their alliance, which was Devon and Bailey. So again, that's kind of like a 4. It's kind of like the core 2 of Enzo and Cody, and then they kind of pulled in Bailey and Devon, which they kind of have their own final 2 on the side too. So everyone's kind of, this year, it seems like they're kind of doing like final 2. This is our core group, this is our final 2, but then they're also bringing in larger groups. So it seems like that's more prevalent this season than I've ever seen. And then Nicole F and Ian are in the Million Club, which Ian came up with that name since they both won their previous seasons. So Nicole would is really kind of pushing, Nicole F's really kind of pushing for Cody to work with Ian as well, but it doesn't seem like Cody is too receptive to that. So I'm not sure how that will work out with him not really seeming to want to work with Ian that much, but she really wants to. Again, her and Cody would be the core 2, and then they would kind of want to bring like Ian in as their 3rd player. But of course, Nicole also has the final 2 with Ian. So there's all sorts of things going on. And then Memphis and Cody, of course, both came in 2nd in their season. So they kind of seem to be sticking together, like I said, with an alliance. And also, as we mentioned, Nicole F and Ian, who won. So it seems like people that kind of have similar backgrounds in the game are kind of gravitating towards each other and are forming alliances, which kind of makes sense. And then Nicole, Anthony, and Kevin have like a final 2 deal. And then I was watching the live feeds the other night, Thursday night after the live show, and Janelle was talking with Kevin and Nicole Anthony a lot. So it looks like that could be an alliance. So we'd have Nicole Anthony, Kevin, Janelle, and of course I'm assuming Kaser would be in there too. Possibly Ian would be a possibility. So I never really thought Janelle would be considered like an outsider, but it seems on this season she is a little bit. Some of the newer players seem to be teaming up and forming alliances, and Janelle seems to be a huge target, which that does make sense. So they kind of all seem to be targeting her, so she's not really in any alliances with most of the people. So I'm glad she did at least form that alliance with Nicole, Anthony. So we'll see. I'm not sure if other people might eventually come around to make an alliance with Janelle, which would be nice to see. I wouldn't mind maybe seeing Tyler hook up with Janelle and Keesha. And it's funny how, like, on the first episode, Tyler had mentioned that one of his downfalls of winning, that he didn't win, he came in second last time he played, was that he had like final 2 deals with like everyone in the house and he couldn't cash the checks. So I think it's kind of funny that the same thing's kind of happening this season. So I guess old habits die hard, because he's kind of doing final 2 deals with everybody again this season. And I guess it's just Tyler's MO. So I think that I don't know if that will work out for him any better this year. I mean, coming in second place isn't bad, but I know, of course he wants to win. And then of course Memphis wound up being a memory competition beast, as we saw on Thursday. I couldn't believe that one time when he answered differently than everybody else. I thought he was going to be wrong, but it actually wound up being he was right, and he actually won the competition. So we have to watch out for Memphis and those kinds of competitions, I guess, this season. And he, of course, now is our new HOH, so we'll see who wants to align with him now. I'm sure more people will be coming out of the woodwork to align with Memphis, see how much he sticks with his original alliances. I think he will, but I don't know if he's going to start making some more side alliances. Of course, being HOH, the opportunities just seem to fall in your lap. So what I didn't realize is that Memphis was never HOH on his original season. I had kind of forgot about that. Glad he finally early in this season, he finally got his chance to be HOH for the first time ever. So maybe that is one reason that Dan won their season, is because people felt like, he wasn't really great at the competitions. He didn't win any HOHs, I guess. So I always seem to kind of root for the underdogs. And like I said, I didn't think Janelle was going to be that this year, but seeming that way. So right now it's kind of seeming like Janelle and Keesha are on their own little island, kind of starting to talk to Nicole, Anthony, which is good, and Kevin. But I'm hoping, like I said, some of that changes and they get some better alliances going this season. I hate to see Janelle go super early. It's looking like right now she's going to be a huge target and might not make it too far, but hoping that changes, because I still like to see, Janelle's of course fun to watch, and just be fun to see her stay longer. So we also have the safety suite still going. Week 1 down, where Janelle and Keesha were the only 2 that played, so they can't play it again. You can only play once. So we have 2 more weeks. This will be the second week of Safety Suite, and I have a feeling a lot of people are maybe going to play this week, not knowing where Memphis stands and just wanting safety. So we'll see who plays this week, and then there'll be 1 more week that people who didn't play it get to still play next week. And Enzo, it's funny, he's seeming to talk a lot. So I think Tyler mentioned it, and we'll see if that kind of affects his alliances, if he gives away too much information to people he shouldn't. Right now, it looks like he has a really good alliance with Cody, and I think that could really go far. So I'm starting to see, feel this all out and see how the alliances line up, and I'm sure they'll continue to evolve, and we'll gain and lose members and as the weeks go on. So that's just kind of an initial overview of what I think are the alliances so far. So just let me know, did I miss anything? There's a lot of information to take in. Did I miss any alliances? So which alliance are you into at this point? Which would be your ideal alliance that hasn't been made yet? Who's your favorite players right now? Just let me know in the comments what you think, and then if you could like the video and subscribe to my channel, that'd be great, and I'll see you guys all next time.